We're here in Bicester, home to the Classic Collective, and I'm going to take a tour around their fabulous facility with Dominic Taylor-Lane. Let's take a look inside. All right, Dominic, well, thanks very much for having us here at the Classic Collective in Bicester. You've been here for about 3 years now, I think.
We have indeed.
So, yeah, why don't you show us around? First of all, some lovely street furniture here. So what we got here?
Indeed, actually owned by the same gentleman, Triumph Roadster.
Lovely.
And this is actually an incredibly rare beast. This is one of 3 right-hand drives ever built. And this is the sole survivor. This was actually built down in Southampton, I believe, in a factory by Fiat, right-hand drive. The English ones have a window in the back and a seat. The Italian ones don't. We don't do any restoration. We're service, maintenance.
Only service and maintenance then.
Upgrades. It's very much about trying to provide cars for customers that are suitable for modern conditions. Now we have quite a big online shop, so we have a very close relationship with Spax, who are literally 800 yards that way. BCC brakes, vintage tyres, Matt Neal and wheels, Wasp, everything's made in Aylesbury and fixable.
And presumably you forged these partnerships because you trust in those products as well. You're not just going to, because you fit these stuff yourself.
We want stuff that doesn't just claim to be green, but actually you can fix it.
Yeah.
I like fixing stuff.
Yeah, great. Well, let's just wander into the workshop if we can, because you've got some proper live examples of some interesting cars in work.
This is the original New York show car. It's just been restored. It has been repainted. It's the only car painted in that colour.
It's so unusual, isn't it? Because it's not even just an old English white. There's a nice little pinky hue in it, so almost.
There's a hint of pink, indeed.
I mean, it's
indeed very special car.
You're a bit of an SEC fan yourself because you've got one, haven't you? A rare 421, but a few of these on the ramp, which looks impressive.
I love a Merc from the late 80s, early 90s. I personally think it's peak Merc.
Yes.
Design-wise, safety-wise, they've got everything on them that a modern car would have.
Yeah.
You can't beat them. Best cars in the world.
Values are going up, but you can still repair them, maintain them, and make them perfectly usable for everyday conditions, can't you? So
yes, and providing you haven't broken anything that they didn't make very many of, most of the bits are available from Auto Doc and all of those kind of companies. The other rare thing is you have a range of price points.
Yep.
You want a cheap bit, you can buy a cheap bit. You want an expensive bit, you can buy an expensive bit. Not many cars have that choice anymore.
No, that's true, isn't it? So we've got a nice early E-Type fixed head over here as well, like 1963.
E-Type fixed head has come in for a clutch. We spoke to the owner, he had some issues with it. We said, have you ever done a clutch? He said, no, I've owned it for 32 years. I've never done a clutch. And we went, well, I think it's about time. So
that's fantastic.
That's having a clutch.
And when I arrived this morning, you were working on this lovely little MGB GT here.
A family car, it's been passed the other way. So this has been passed from son to father. The shell was remarkably good. So the father had it stripped and repainted, and we're putting it back together for him.
That's fantastic. I mean, what I get the sense is with this workshop, like you say, you're doing all that sort of maintenance, modification stuff, because it's all about keeping these cars on the road for longer and in a way that you can use them and enjoy them. They're not just parked up in a workshop forever. You can actually use them in everyday traffic. Well,
one of the great things at the moment is the fact that because prices are however you want to describe it, there are a whole bunch of people, E-Types in particular, as an example, who sat on cars watching them go up £200 every month, or £1,000, or whatever, which meant they were scared to use them.
Yeah. So
a lot of those cars didn't get used for 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
Now the prices have fallen back a bit. Technically, on paper, I've lost 70 grand. They haven't.
Yeah.
Because they didn't pay that for it in the first place. But what it means is, I may as well use it.
Yeah.
So the amount of reconditioning we are doing now, it is exponential to where we were even 2 years ago.
So these were cars that were just in people's lockups for years, and now they're thinking, well, I might as well go and enjoy them. So now you're putting them right so they are ready to go out on the road and enjoy.
Absolutely. So you've got a car that someone, and I know it irritates my young son when someone says, I want 20 grand for an Austin A7 when they tell you they paid 20 quid for it. Okay, these cars are not going to be 20 quid cars, but these cars were half sensible money at the time, and people have watched them go up incrementally. They've become an asset, not a hobby, not a car, it's just a trinket. So it's getting all these cars out, and people are seeing the value in whatever your driver is, making people get out, and I'm going to sound very old now, but life is about experience, not about stuff.
Yes, no, exactly. Well, that's what's great. That's what's fantastic about this facility. You're giving owners the means with which to upgrade and crucially go and enjoy their classic cars. So I think that's a perfect way to end. Hope you've enjoyed that little tour around the Classic Collective here in Bicester. Thank you, Dominic, for your time. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you soon.